Hello, Lisa here. Welcome back to my channel and welcome to this really excited babbly show and tell walkthrough, kind of, I guess, of the beautiful and very exciting Charmcast Tarot. Oh my goodness, I'm so excited this is finally here. I have been so excited about this for the longest time and it is finally here. And I have painstakingly, because my little charms kind of separated in shipping, no big deal. They were all very nicely contained in this beautiful little zip pouch that came with them. But I went through and put them all in order. So we have the majors, the wands, the cups, the swords, and the pentacles. And I cannot wait to get into showing you guys all of them. So we're going to do this. But if you don't know what these are, they were a Kickstarter that I backed. And they are a full deck of cast metal charms that have these gorgeous, very detailed illustrations engraved into, like in the stick figure of the Rider-Waite-Smith throughout the entire deck. So you can cast them as charms. Full disclosure, the cloth or the mat that you see here behind the charms is actually from a different set. It came from the Publisher's Goblins Oracle dice. I didn't end up resonating with those dice, but I did love this mat for casting, so I kept this, and I'm planning to use this specifically with these charms. If I do any casting, we will see. But I'm very excited to work with this adorable little deck, whether it's drawing them or casting them or what have you. I'm real excited. So we're going to go through them one by one. Okay, we're going to see how this works. The reason we are so zoomed in to the very center of this cloth is because I've switched out my camera so that hopefully you can get really sharp detail from all of these beautiful charms. So we are going to go one by one, starting with the majors. Here we have our Fool. So you can see that the engraving is incredibly detailed. We still have the dog, the Fool, the sunflower, the bag. We're on a cliff. Like, it's so... The creator of this deck did this beautiful version of the tarot did such an incredible job. I'm going to just add these to their little bag as we go, or I don't know what I'm going to do actually. I guess I'll put them on top of the bag. But actually, before we get too detailed in each card by card, I have a blank tarot card just for perspective. Let's see if I can do it that way because it'll fit in the frame. Check out the size. Oh my gosh, these are so tiny, but they're like so clear what the details are. Because the creator chose to go with these stick figures, you can really clearly see what's happening on every single charm. So we have our Fool, our Magician. I'm hoping that the focus is going to be good. There we go. High Priestess. And again, like every little detail, including some of the details on the veil behind her, the B and the J on the column are all here. Here is our beautiful Empress. I say beautiful because I'm just so impressed. I know they're stick figures, you guys, but I'm so impressed. The creator of this deck clearly knew enough about tarot to know what was important to make sure was visible on every single card. Like, the important symbols are all here. Oh, there we go. There's our Emperor. That was my Hierophant. Hold on. Hold on. Yeah, that's right. Sorry, I got a little lost for a moment there. That is our Hierophant. 2 supplicants. He's holding his staff of power there. Like, it's just, it's just so brilliantly done. There is the Lovers. The sound, though, these make. Oh my gosh, Strength with the Sphinxes. I mean, even the details around the Sphinxes. I mean, it's absolutely incredible. Now, I happen to know that the creator, because of her updates in the Kickstarter campaign, really agonized about making sure that these turned out the way that she wanted them to. Really made sure that these all had the right information, the right things came through on the engraving, that the details were well done. I mean, such a beautiful job. Now, I know for a bit, I don't know if it's available now, but I know she was doing some experimenting on creating a more affordable version of these out of plastics. So you might want to check the link below for the website just to see if that's still something that's available. Such a really high quality, beautiful item that I feel like this is something that will just hold up no matter what. And we're going to do some comparisons to some similar items that I have in my collection here in just a moment. But I just really wanted to go through all these. This is the Devil. I mean, like, look at even just the triangle face. Sorry, hold on. Let's get him in here. There we go. Even just the triangle face, the wings, like, everything is there. Oh, I just covered up my microphone. Sorry, I got excited. but everything is there in these charms. So you can see exactly what's happening. And because they went with the traditional Rider-Waite-Smith imagery, it's just infinitely usable, super portable. Like you could easily just draw or throw a card, like, well, a tile, what do you call it? A charm, whenever you want. But I'm absolutely in love with these. They have a really lovely weight, but they don't feel so heavy that it's like a problem. They feel like a luxury item. Really, really nice. There's the world. Okay, let's get into the suits. So we have our Ace of Wands, our Two of Wands, Three of Wands, Four of Wands, Five. Like you can see even all these like figures fighting and all their wands. That sound though, right? The Six, the Seven. I don't feel like anything's lacking. Like I have no critique. And I was actually really excited to discover that the creator chose to go with nickel-free pewter, if I remember correctly, which was really exciting for me personally because I am allergic to a lot of metals, but pewter is a metal that I can handle comfortably, because pewter is naturally nickel-free, or at least, I shouldn't say naturally. I'm assuming that there are choices that have to be made when working with pewter to ensure that you've got the nickel-free version or that you've got a nickel-free pewter if that's your goal. But regardless, I'm very pleased that nickel-free pewter was what was chosen. I do know that pewter will darken over time, so the shadows will deepen in this, and the contrast will drop, I think, a little bit over time. It's just a natural way that pewter behaves. And in fact, I'll even grab a couple of pewter pendants, or my little collection of pewter pendants for my collection. I'm saying collection a million times in that sentence, and I just made it worse. But you know what I mean? I'll grab some pewter things I have and just kind of show you some things that I've had kicking around and kind of the difference in how they look. But I'm really, really excited about these. I just feel like they're so usable and different and fun. And by the way, the backings, I'm just showing them now. The backings are just a smooth kind of brushed pewter look to them. The cups, we have the Ace. I mean, there's nothing revolutionary here in the sense that these are the scenes from the Rider-Waite-Smith, but I feel like what has taken more work than I think most of us would be able to easily appreciate is just making sure that that translated into something that was engraved like this. I feel like that'd be actually really challenging to do, and just to make sure that the hollows of the lines, that the open spaces stayed open. I mean, I can only imagine on something this small how tricky it is to get it just right so that nothing gets muddy in the image. And the fact that stick figures were chosen, here's our Six of Cups. The fact that stick figures were chosen, I think, was a really good choice because it meant that there was more real estate on each charm for the symbols, for the scene, for what was happening. Like, I mean, look at the detail. Honestly, in the Seven of Cups, somehow the creators managed to get like all the things in the different cups, right? That on such a tiny, I mean, I'm completely wowed by these. The Eight of Cups. I have to admit, filming this is a little bit challenging because I want to make sure we're in close enough for you to see the detail and that it can be big enough on your screen, whatever device you're watching on. Hopefully this lens choice made it a little bit easier. There's our 10. Like, I mean, come on. Even the rainbow shape is done here in such a way that it's very clear that that's a rainbow. I'm absolutely stunned. And for the price, these were not cheap, but for the price I paid, I feel like, wow, I honestly feel like it was a bargain. I mean, if I'm being completely honest, I feel like for the quality of item I've received, I feel like the pricing on this item was incredibly fair. Maybe lower than it really realistically should have been. I don't know, but it was, oh my gosh. I feel like the creator could have really, you know, gone hard with the price, and I think those of us that were really excited about this probably would have still bought it. The fact that she kept the pricing as fair as I'm sure she could, really just, yeah, just another perk. I'm just going to gush. This is all this is. This is just gushing. That's what we're doing here. We're just gushing. But I'm so, so, so excited about them. I will say, being in this close, I had like a tiny little flake of nail. And like being this close sure makes you aware of like, oh my gosh, gotta file that. But anyways, back on track. There's our 4 of Swords. I'm so excited to like shake these up, but I had to get them in order first. Yeah, I was like, what card am I on? Here's the 5 of Swords. Come on now. Don't get confused, camera. There we go. Are we gonna actually... Oh, it's struggling with this one for some reason. There we go. There's our 5 of Swords. I literally, of all of these, and I've looked at them already a little bit, and what really amazes me, I guess I have to hold still. I think that's my problem. I'm not very still usually. As you guys know, I talk with my hands. But I think it's amazing to me that I haven't found a single charm to have beef with. Despite, like, to be honest, when you buy a higher quality or a more expensive item like this, you're more likely to, I think, kind of spot the flaws, or the opposite is true and you're inclined to like think it's amazing no matter what. But like look at the little grid in the quilt here on this 9 of Swords. Look at the scroll work on the side of the bed. Like, hopefully it's staying sharp. But can you imagine, like, it's actually really hard to film this because my eyes, I'm like squinting into my viewfinder to make sure everything's showing up. But like, so much planning to make sure that this was going to come out right. And I know that there was some trial and error and like going back and forth to make sure that everything was clear. There was great communication throughout the Kickstarter campaign. I would not hesitate even a little to back anything else, like if I wanted it, right? To back anything else this creator did, because I feel like the communication throughout the entire campaign was so good. And when there were like hiccups, you know, we always knew what that hiccup was, and we always knew what was being done about it, and it was really, really well handled. And there's our King of Swords. Hopefully we've been following along. Hello. Right, hold still, Lisa, that's the trick. I'll figure it out by the time we're all done. There's the Ace of Coins, or Pentacles. The 2, look at the waves once it focuses. Look at the waves in the background of the little ship. Like... the fact that she got a little ship in the back, I don't understand how. Because again, these basically had to be drawn, right? And then tweaked and tweaked to make sure that they would work in this format. I'm just very, very impressed. There's a part of me that's like, could these work as stamps? I guess maybe there'd be a way. I don't know. I wouldn't take the chance, but... 5 of Pentacles. It's so well done. Oh... my little pile of charms is encroaching now into the frame. 7. That sound, though. 8. 9. 10. Page. Knight. Queen, and King. Oh my goodness. So I can't zoom out, but I'm gonna can we just for a moment appreciate how wonderful of an experience this is? So one of the things that you were able to add on to this campaign, which I was really excited about, was this pendant option, which I thought was the most clever situation ever. So this is also made out of the same pewter. It has a nice thick sturdy looking jump ring on it, which is wonderful, and a strong magnet inside of it. So this is really exciting to me because it means that you can wear a tarot card anytime you want. You could do a daily draw and literally wear your daily draw. I'm almost shaking. I'm just so excited. So let me grab something lovely here. Let me grab something. For some reason, I don't want to just pick just anything. Is that like really weird of me? Let's do the sun. The sun is a safe card. Okay, so you just literally, there's a magnet. It's already sticking. Hello? And it pops in. And it is such a perfect fit. So getting them back out again. So the creator of this has been saying that she's been banging it, like the corner of it on a table or something. But Sarah over at Sunset Bow got her set before I did, and she mentioned maybe wanting to try a magnet. So I actually brought a piece of fridge hematite. I don't know I don't think this is magnetized hematite real hematite? I don't know, but this is on my fridge. So I grabbed one to see if I could, is it gonna work? It did. It worked. Oh my God. Okay, so that was cool. So I just have to hold this firmly and like, it's like pretty strong. Oh, I did it before. I don't understand. I just did it, you guys. I can't do it again. Oh, there we go. Okay. So it may take a little fiddling. So I think I'm considering actually keeping this piece of hematite. Oh. Okay, wait a minute. What is happening? Am I a child right now? But like look what what is happening? What was I thinking? I'm like, oh, I'll just keep this like magnetic piece of hematite in with my charms. But now I kind of want to like, oh no, you go over here. I kind of want to see how much I can magnetize before it all starts. Okay, this is not what this video is about, but I am enamored. I wonder how many I can like, how far this can go. Oh, we're still there. How many do I have? Okay, this is really funny. Are you gonna stick? Oh no, you're gonna fall. Okay, will you stick over here? I don't. Okay, sorry. I'm gonna unstick. I don't know why I thought that was a good idea. Okay. Anyways, I have a piece of hematite to remove my pendant. I also have a tool, and actually I'm going to go grab it because I want to try it. Okay, I have two tools here that I'm hoping might be useful. So this is actually an eyeshadow depotting tool that I have. And this is, I don't know what this is. It's a nail tool. It came in like a nail kit. I use it for all kinds of things, but it's like got a little like, it's probably like dirty because I've used it to like dig out candles. I've done all kinds of crazy stuff, but it's got a pretty sharp edge. I feel like either one of these will probably work really well. So let's just pop one in here. I don't think the depotting tool is going to do it because there's not enough wiggle room. Yeah, this is too thick at its point, but I have a feeling that this actually will work. Oh. Maybe not, and I don't want to damage them. Ah, okay. So here's what I've learned. So let me try it again. And also, I guess I should check the edge to see if I did damage it. Okay, no, everything seems fine. Okay, so let me throw a different one in here. All right. So this has sort of a scooped in edge here. That side wasn't working because it just kept slipping, but if I put the flat side, so I'm going to actually pull the charm to one side with my finger to make sure there's as big a gap there as possible. Oh. And yeah, and then I just look for a place and it pops out. So I think I might actually leave this tool, which I don't use. I mean, I said I use it a lot, but like really, I could probably keep this with these if I was going to start using this as a card a day kind of situation. So the only thing left for me to show, well, there's a few things left I want to show you actually. So it did come with a really beautiful little, what do you call this? It's like that really kind of coarse material. I don't want to say linen, it's coarser than that. Canvas, there we go. Comes with a really nice canvas zip pouch. This is what they actually were shipped in, and each suit was sort of stacked up and like wrapped in cellophane or plastic of some kind. And then she also sent a big roomy satin bag that is, it's a simple unlined bag. It was really nice of her to send this for those people that want to really rummage around in there with your hands. You guys know I'm a bag snob because of Peggy. So I actually recently moved a deck out of this bag that has this really beautiful unicorn and like a floral setting. I had moved a deck out of this bag into a different bag. A unicorn deck, obviously. So now I had this unicorn bag and it's so pretty, and Peggy did such a great job for me of like cutting out the unicorn in the fabric so that it would be perfect like on both sides. It's kind of a special bag. And I was like, well, this would be a perfect thing, not the charm though for now, to keep everything in. So I'm going to dump, not all, I'm going to keep out a handful, but I'm going to dump a bunch of these in this bag. And this is one of Peggy's standard bags, which I realized for this charm set, and I'll show you why actually in a minute here. Actually, I'm going to put them all in just so you can kind of see what my thinking is. So I'm dumping all of my charms in here because these don't take up all that much room once they're in a bag. So they actually don't require, at least, and I feel like I have fairly biggish hands, right? So there they all are in, and they only come to here on the bag, which gives me still tons and tons of room to reach my hand in and like rummage around and like play. Like there's lots of room in here for me to mess them all up and draw or whatnot. So that is what I'm thinking mine are going to live in. I don't, at least that's where they're going to live in for now. And then I'm tempted from here to maybe kind of wrap them up and put them in here. This wasn't as pleasant of a tactile experience to rummage around in, but I will point out that this canvas bag is lined, so it feels very sturdy for something this heavy. And I would feel comfortable doing something like that, but then I wouldn't be able to see my unicorn bag. So I don't know where I'm going to land with that, but I do like having them in a standard size Peggy bag. I like that. So that's what I'm planning to do as far as storage, at least for now. So the other thing I wanted to talk about is the closest thing to this that I've had in my collection up until this point are the tarot tiles that Jamie Sawyer created. And I have a set of her tarot tiles, and I also have a set of her Lenormand tiles, the original Sawyer's Path Tarot and Sawyer's Path Lenormand. As enchanted as I was by these, and I have to admit, these are have been a real treasure for me for a really long time. I found that when I got these, the only ones that she was making at the time were her Sawyer's Path Tarot, which is delightful. It's a delightful tarot. And by the way, look at my little, I forgot about my little cloth. This is probably going to have to live with my charms, to be honest. It's got this like little crystal ball that Peggy embroidered for me back in the day, and it's this beautiful like faux suede and velvet. There's a Bruno hair that has blessed it, but that is just a really cute cloth. So I think that's going to live with my charms. But anyways, that's an aside. I want to show one of the reasons why I've ended up not using these as much as I thought I would. Now, they've been lovely. I've loved pulling them out for large spreads and stuff. But despite my best efforts, and to be clear, when Jamie makes these, she does say they're supposed to be stored in their box, front to back. And I think the reason for that is because this happens. They stick together. Now, as far as I can tell, no damage seems to happen. So this is what the tarot tiles look like. No damage seems to happen to them when they're stuck together. And mine were created actually back when she was doing all these engravings on the backs by hand with all the astrological glyphs. And these are still something that I love, but here's another one that's stuck. But every time I go to use them, I have to kind of go through and unstick them. Now, I had sprinkled them with some cornstarch to try to keep the surface of the resin from like sticking to the other surface of the resin, but I do still have some trouble. The other point I was going to make, and I distracted myself, but the other point I was going to make about these is that they are specifically the Sawyer's Path Tarot, which is fine. I think that's a beautiful, colorful, lovely deck. I do enjoy it quite a lot. But I reach for this with probably about the same frequency as I would reach for the Sawyer's Path Tarot. Now, the other thing I often will reach for this for is when I want to do very large spreads, which is really wonderful both for tarot because you can lay out an incredibly large spread in an incredibly small space. And these still have all the beautiful imagery and the colors, and they're just a lot of fun to read with. I feel like and let's talk about a size comparison too. So this is one of Jamie's, and here's a tarot card just for comparison. So here's one of Jamie's tarot tiles. And here is one of the Charmcast charms. So we are talking a very significant difference in form factor. I don't feel like these would replace these in my collection. I wasn't sure when I first pulled them out. I'm like, are they going to replace them? I don't think they are. I really don't think they are. And in fact, I'm already second guessing where the cloth's going to live. I think I do still want the cloth to live with the tarot. But yeah, I do wish that they didn't stick together like that. That's my one big beef with these, is that they do kind of stick. Again, they always separate. I've never had any problem separating them. So usually before I work with them, I just kind of go through and rummage around and make sure they're not stuck, maybe pull them out, unstick them, give them a good shake, right? And then I'm good. And the same is true of the Lenormand tiles. These have the same sort of issue. So here's some stuck together. It's a minor annoyance, and the little Lenormand is great. And honestly, this is my go-to. If I want to lay like a grand tableau, I tend to go for these because they're just, you can lay out a grand tableau in such a small space. It's really quite wonderful. I also really like the tactile experience of drawing. But these do end up not getting nearly as much use as I kind of expected them to, which is sort of a shame, but at the same time, they're really special, and I do enjoy having them. So yeah, I wasn't sure. I was like, well, maybe these little Charmcast will replace them, but I really don't think that they're going to. So there we have it. But at least size-wise, you have an idea of the difference. Now, let's talk for just a second about this mat and how I think it could be kind of cool to use this mat specifically for tarot casting. So if I just move my candles out of the way. So let's say I just wanted to do a reading for myself. And this is what's really great because tarot is a system I know very, very well. Because I know it very well and it's comfortable and it's home for me, other than things like runes and things, the idea of using tarot in a casting system is super appealing to me. So let's do a sample read and just see kind of what happens. So I'm going to give these a good mix around. I mean, they're pretty easy to mix because their weight gives them the ability to just kind of mix themselves in here. But I'm going to get a small handful and we're going to do a sample read using this specific cloth. Now you can make something like this. There's other sorts of casting cloths I'm sure that you can buy, but this is ready made for me and I happen to already have it. So I'm going to grab just like a handful of tarot tiles. This is a lot, but we'll see what happens. And I'm just going to cast them. Okay. So if I were reading this for myself, I would right away notice anything that lands in a specific spot. So for example, up here in Woe, I have the Knight of Swords. So the Knight of Swords, you can't see this, but up here, this little semicircle says Woe, W-O-E. So that tells me that an area where I might experience some trouble is with maybe a Knight of Swords type personality. So that's going to immediately draw my eye because it landed right pretty much in that spot. And then I'm going to look at what's in the very, very center and face up, and it is the Five of Wands. So the Five of Wands fell dead center face up. Straight down from that, though, is the Strength card. So it's like, okay, so we have the Five of Wands, but underneath that kind of influencing it is Strength. Also influencing it over here to the left is the Hierophant. And up here is the King of Pentacles. So as far as face up, that's it, except for all the way over to this side here, sitting in the realm of the mind is the Lovers. And it's just kind of near this within. So we have within, without, woe, and wheel. Wheel being sort of good stuff happening. Woe being, you know, not so great stuff happening. And then if we also look at sort of these supporting cards, we can go, okay, well, strength is crossing this border between the material realm and the spirit realm. So it's like, okay, I'm going to need to have strength specifically with looking at my material world and also with looking at my sort of spiritual, my faith in the universe, my faith in the goddess, that sort of thing. That's going to be something I'm going to need to lean into when I'm facing the sort of strife or the upheaval of the Five of Wands, because I do feel like that represents some kind of hiccup, right? Something not going quite so smoothly. And I think I need to be aware of the King of Pentacles over here in this more, in this body space, just recognizing that, like, I'm okay. Like, things are fine. Like, when it comes to, like, my physical world, my material world, again, down here, I feel like things are pretty good. It seems like the upset is mostly kind of dealing with the realm of the mind. At least that's what I'm kind of getting intuitively. So then I would want to know what's in shadow, because there's all this stuff over here in the body section. So what's in body or summer, because there's seasons here, summer, spring, winter, and autumn. There's a lot here happening in the summer season or in the body season. And if I flip them all over, now I'm not going to flip this one over yet, but if I flip these ones over, I've got the Eight of Cups, the Three of Cups, the Nine of Swords, and the Ace of Wands. So if I were to look at these four and go, what's going on, like, physically? It's like, I feel like there's a lot of, like, roller coasteriness happening here, specifically some worries. Maybe something's going to come up and I'm going to be, like, worried about my health for a short period of time. But maybe talking it out with friends is going to make it a little bit easier. Going to leave behind the things that aren't serving me any longer. Maybe have to make some decisions, let go of something that maybe isn't in my best interest, but that I'm kind of attached to anyways. And sort of explore a new adventure physically, right? I don't know. I'm just kind of like randomly playing because I've never done this before. So you're just seeing me try it for the very first time. The other thing that just drew my eye before I get to the other flipped over ones, because these ones were flipped over, is way up here at the perimeter. It's technically off. It's not off the map, but it's out of the, like, main circle area. Was the Knight of Wands, which is super interesting because he's up here hanging out sort of near the, sort of near where the Knight of Swords was, up here in the woe section. I know he's kind of out of the frame, but that's happening. So then I'd want to go, okay, with regards to this Five of Wands, what's happening with this King of Pentacles? And let's look at what's in his shadow. And the King of Pentacles has the ennui of the Four of Cups lying in his shadow. So it's almost like maybe somebody in my life is going to be doing really well, but kind of feeling kind of bored, like maybe with regards to business, right? So this could be an indication to me that there's like a need to be aware of who this is and support them. I'm like right away, I'm thinking maybe it's Peggy, like maybe creatively or in her business, she's getting a little bit like, I don't know, feel like she needs to try something new. And then I can start looking at this and go, well, what could I help her with? And it's now I'm off to a different sort of section. And this is one of the reasons I don't do a lot of casting, because it feels like a lot of different directions you can go. In here in the shadow of the core of the issue, right here at the center with the Five of Wands in the shadow, so I think I would read these like reversals, right? maybe, I don't know, or like the thing that's hidden or not as obvious. We have the Page of Swords. So the Page of Swords and the Five of Wands, with the Page of Swords being in shadow. So I'd kind of read it maybe like that. I don't know. And then over here, I don't know if this is so much a sample we're reading as me just exploring. Over here we have the Six of Wands. So there's some success, but it's maybe hidden. And then over here, underneath the Hierophant, we had the Star. Interesting. Almost like maybe there's this feeling of like structure and dogma or red tape to go through, but like underneath that, there's actually things are really good. There's good stuff to do under there. There's improvements to be made. I don't know. I don't know. I'd be curious about your guys' thoughts about this as a system. And maybe this is my issue, is that also I haven't found quite the right casting cloth or casting like system. I'm not sure how I feel about body, mind, spirit, and material as the 4 main sections. I feel like I might want to change that up. So I have to think about like what I want that to look like. But I think regardless of whether I use this as casting or use it to draw and do readings, or whether I use it to like do my daily draw from whatever deck or from these, and then carry that around with me for the day and like engage with that energy. I feel like this could be a really great learning tool in that way, to like be like, what's my card of the day? And you get the Nine of Swords, and then you wear the Nine of Swords around that day, and you ask yourself when you start to feel anxious, like, why, you know, what is this all about? I don't know, you can kind of like, I feel like be more actively involved in your card of the day. I don't know. I'm just, like I said, I'm just kind of like throwing some random ideas out there, but I do think it's really super interesting, and I'm really just excited to play with these and see where I go with them. If you have backed this as well, if you've gotten in the Charmcast Tarot and you've started to play with it, I would be super curious to hear how you're working with it, the kinds of things you've learned or that you are enjoying playing with. I think for now I am going to keep the pendant in with the charms, but in this little plastic bag so that I can easily find them. And I think I want to keep these things together as well, but I don't know. So I think for now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put these loose in here and then put my charm set in this bag like that, so that I can have my tools and my pendant and everything kind of in one kit, but it's kind of separate. The other thing I feel like this zip pouch would be great for is for having a sack or having like a bag, like a separate bag like I do for the charms, and then also having a little reading cloth or something like that little mini one I had folded up and tucked in there, so you have a little spot, or like a little casting cloth. That could be really fun to have in there. So yeah, I don't know. I'm really excited about this. I feel like it opens up so much possibilities for ways to work with the tarot that I'm not currently working with them. So I'm just super stoked to have it and to be able to play with it and just see what comes next. So anyways, so that is the Charmcast Tarot. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me while I babbled and like played and like goofed around and like just took a tour through these delightful little charms. I'm very excited to work with these, play, see how they work out. As always, thank you so much for watching. Please be sure and click the like button if you enjoyed this video or you found any value in it. If you do enjoy videos, especially long form or longer videos, all about tarot and tarot related kinds of things and magic-y kinds of things, then be sure and subscribe. I make lots of content just like this. Thank you all so much for joining me, and may your magic always shine from the inside out. Bye guys!